So the thing is that I found out in researching is not only are our insulin cycles important, but our culture and what we have decided is normal works against our natural hormone cycles.
Okay. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes. So if you look at people in the late 60s and early 70s, they pretty much ate 3 meals and did not snack in between meals. They sat down to watch TV and they didn't eat while they were watching TV. When I'm coaching people and guiding them, I can't tell you how many people say, well, of course I eat when I'm watching TV every night. That's normal.
Down. Right.
Yeah. And also, even events, every event we go to now has food. Every, whether it's a sporting event, a social event, no matter what, there's food at it.
Popcorn and, soda for the movies.
Yeah. And you almost can't go to something that doesn't have food. And then there's also some peer pressure if you don't want to eat. If you say, oh, I just had dinner, you'll still get people who try to give you a guilt trip to eat more even when you're full.
Just try this. Yeah. So so digestive hormones, like which ones are there?
I would say the one you have to pay the most attention to is insulin. And insulin is meant to pulse. You're meant to, when you eat, your body, turns everything into glucose, and then your insulin comes in to take care of it and pull it into the cell so you can use it. But insulin is also a fat storage hormone. So if we eat all day long, our body not only sends a normal amount of insulin out, but when we eat all day long, things are almost like they're getting too noisy with the hormone cycles. Maybe, I don't know if this will resonate with you at all, but if you have a constant, some hormones need to pulse and some can be constant because it changes what happens in the body. So if you have your body sending insulin all the time, your body stops paying attention to it somewhat, although it will keep using it as a fat storage hormone. Gotcha. So when your cells are having a hard time with all this noise of insulin around all day long, then it doesn't pay as close attention. So then the body says, oh, no one's paying attention, send more insulin. So you actually have, your insulin levels get higher and higher, and all of that is fat storage. So naturally, that's how it works. But the people in the late 1960s who ate 3 meals would have a little bit of insulin that would come out and take care of breakfast, a little bit of insulin that would come out and take care of lunch, and a little insulin that would come out and take care of dinner. And so they naturally kept a normal weight.
Gotcha. Okay. And how do the hormones, so what you're saying is we've gone from this kind of pulsatile type secretion to now this sort of constant release, and this constant release really focuses more on fat storage. Is that what I'm hearing? Does that make sense?
It's still doing the thing that's supposed to do. It's still pulling the blood, the glucose out of the blood, because if our sugars just went high and high and high, that would kill us.
Right.
So it's still doing that part, which is its job, but it's supposed to pull it out, and then a little goes in the liver for storage for later, and then the rest goes into fat, which can be used later. But if all we do is constant, then all we do is store, and when you eat, you actually never pull from your fat. You never pull that little extra energy from your liver. All you do is just burn the sugar that you have at the moment.
So you continue to accumulate, basically.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And so I get, a lot of my patients, they've really struggled with weight their whole lives. This is not a new thing. I always counsel about it based on the impact that it has on fertility. So I'm counseling on it from a fertility standpoint, but it's typically not the first time they've heard about weight as an issue, and it's something they've struggled with their whole lives. So tell me, when you encounter those patients as a life and weight loss coach, how do you kind of change the mindset or kickstart, the change, or what is going to be different this time around, I guess?
Yeah. People who have struggled with it for many years are their own special case.
Okay.
Because there are some things about, obviously about biology and genes, that we all have different shaped bodies, and some of that is just there. But actually being above, I'm trying to think how to say this. If you struggle with weight for many years, your body actually gets used to that. And so you have to look at weight loss a little differently.
Okay.
You still use the insulin cycles. What
Okay.
I would tell you is one of the tips I was going to give to your audience is that, can you try eating just 3 meals and no snacks? And I can talk about what that is, but I'll tell you, it's very different for someone who has had some weight issues for a few years and for someone who's had it for a very long time.
Okay.
Because if you've had weight issues for a few years, and you can, when you're in between meals, you can sit there and think, am I hungry now or am I not? You know, would I eat a plain piece of chicken if someone offered it to me? You know, so if you haven't been overweight for very long, you can really rely on those feelings.
Those signals and feelings. Okay.
Yeah. If you have had weight struggles for a long time, your brain will actually tell you, yes, I'll eat that plain chicken all day long. So you have to do some planning on how to eat 3 meals that are going to nourish you very well, and have time in between where you don't eat, and time overnight where you're not eating. And you have to do it with your planning brain, because in between it takes a long time. I was doing some reading, and I don't feel like we have a lot of great research on this, but people who look at this say it takes 2 years till you can trust your hunger signals again.
Interesting.
If you've been overweight for a long time.
Interesting.
So you really have to plan out. It's not even a matter of measuring and counting, but just looking at what's on your plate and saying, will this be enough to get me till dinner? Eating it, and then letting yourself just not eat until dinner.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. So you have to rely more on planning and scheduling than your own potential signal. So if you're thinking you're hungry, it may not actually be quote unquote true hunger, so to speak.
Right.